Just kidding. That's my really hilarious joke. Kobe thought it was good. Oh, good God. It's 2 o'clock. I'm freaking exhausted, brain dead, and apparently not very funny. Or pretty hilarious, depending on who's watching and what kind of sense of humor you have. All right, let's see. Are we actually live? Got some. Oh, yeah. Well, there we go. I see some people hopping on here. Depending on who's watching and what kind of sense of humor you have. All righty. Welcome. Hi, Tiff. Aw, thank you for tuning in, Tiff. I love you. Everyone that's hopping on, let me know where you're watching from. I am coming to you live from a very sunny Guanacaste, Costa Rica. Interesting. So I'm watching. I've got my iPhone, and my whatchamacallit comments are super delayed on my iPad here. Sydney's watching from Maryland, USA. I know Tiffany's watching from where in the United States of America? You know, it's really funny, Tiffany. I always think that you're Canadian. I think it's just because we had such a nice connection, and I assume that you're Canadian like me. Jill is watching. Hey, dude, where are you watching from? I forget where you're watching from. Dan is watching from JK. I don't know what that means. Leslie's watching from Connecticut. Tiffany's Edmonton, Alberta. Or you are from Canada. See, this is why I had a feeling that you were from Canada, because you are from Canada. Oh, good grief. Okay, let's cut to the chase. Wow, it just got really dark outside all of a sudden. Luckily, I have lights on here. That was the sound of my oven preheating. I'm going to get a burner going here, because we're going to make a couple of recipes. If you probably noticed, I am ish. You were born in California. Okay, I'm gonna take my glasses off. I don't really need them anymore. So yeah, you're American, but you're living in Calgary. That's where I get it always confused. Confused. Kobe Grace and Levi are here right next to the camera here. You can probably hear Kobe. She just woke up from her nap. She's feeling fine. Refusing to have her goat milk, which is fine. She's at that toddler age where she really only takes what she wants. Yesterday she ate like a champ. Today she's like, meh. I hand her everything I hand her. She takes it, goes, oh, and then throws it on the ground. Very aggressively, as toddlers do. I see more people hopping on. Sharon saying, awesome. Hey, I see Frank and Gabrielle. You guys let me know where you're tuning in from. Where are you watching from? Kobe's very excited because we are planning a trip to Canada. Very, very soon in the next week. So we have been on a bit of a quarantine here in Costa Rica, just preparing for that. Just we minimize the risk of us catching anything and bringing anything from here to Canada. What are we doing today? All right, so I called this Food Fun with Meg because I wanted to revisit a couple of recipes from this cookbook, which is called Food Fun with Meg. As you can see, it's backwards because I am on mirror mode. Who's that? Who's that brunette? I haven't had my hair like that in a while, but I did at the beginning of COVID, at the beginning of this whole quarantine time. Sharon's watching from Aurora, Ontario. Lorianne is watching from Santa Cruz, California. Dee is watching from Houston. Roxana is saying, I'm from Mexico, but I'm living in Canada. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I wanted to revisit a couple of recipes from this. So this cookbook, if you didn't know I had it, is it's brand new. It just became available in July. Beautiful photo creds. All the pictures of myself are photo cred to Stefan, who is one of our Rythmia team members, amazing media artist. This is a cookbook that I launched in July, and it is a collection of many of the recipes that I have done here live on my Rythmia Facebook videos. Many things, oh, lo and behold, we're doing this today. A lot of recipes, I get constantly messages from people after I've done these videos asking for the recipe, and a lot of the stuff, I have to admit, doesn't really have a recipe that I'm doing on here. So I did decide to redo some of the recipes and write down recipes and created this book. So, Food Fun with Meg, available on Amazon. I'm going to show you a couple of quick recipes from here. Hi, Mom! Terry Pearson is watching from Ontario, where we're hoping to be very soon, right, Kobe? Yeah, she says, okay, so Food Fun with Meg, available on Amazon. I'm going to do a couple of recipes here that are really popular with the people that I have sent the recipes to look at pre-launch of the cookbook, and many people that have done it, done any of the recipes over the course of the last year. So what have I got going here I want to show you? So this is the spicy edamame that I've started. So this is frozen edamame. You can get it pretty much anywhere now in the grocery store. I mean, if I can get it in Costa Rica, you can probably get it where you live. So I've thrown a whole bag in a pot, in a pan here. And this wok is probably a little bit too small, but it's what I have here right now. So what I've gone and done is just put a little bit of water in there, about an inch. Doesn't quite cover, it's only about halfway up that edamame. I'm gonna put the lid on there. I'm gonna let those steam for a bit, so I wanna get those pre-cooking. So what am I doing here out of the book? We are doing the spicy edamame, which is a fan favorite for, I mean, any cookbook that has this type of recipe, because who hasn't ordered spicy edamame at a restaurant? You know, it's so delicious. So this is my take on it. So we're gonna show you that real quick today, and I'm also revisiting this because this has become, these recipes are super handy, sheet pan recipes. Not only just in you know, busy lives, but now that a lot of places are gone into the back to school mode, parents, you know, I know that we're looking for quick ways to get dinner on the table, so this is a really easy way. The recipe I'm gonna show you guys is with tofu, but you could sub in chicken. You could buy a rotisserie chicken and just use some rotisserie chicken. Or you could just bake the chicken longer and get your chicken cooked all the way through and have chicken and vegetables. But it's really easy. Bye, guys. So let's talk about the edamame first. I've got that back here. It's going to steam. I've got it on high. And the idea here is we just want the edamame to start cooking itself, cooking through. Because the sauce that we're going to put with it does not need much cooking time at all. It's really just a flash, literally a flash in the pan to heat it all through and bring the flavors together, because there's going to be a couple of ingredients that would burn if we had them cooking for too long. So I really want the edamame to cook as much as possible. Janet says, love to all from Calistoga. Where is Calistoga? I'm really curious about that. Tiffany is saying hi to my mom. Oh, Tiffany and Mom, you guys would get along so well. I wish that one day you shall meet. Okay, so while the edamame is starting to cook back here, does this light help a bit? Yeah, it'll help a little bit. We're gonna get started on a sauce for the other dish, but I also want to give you guys show you guys something. So I think last week I showed you, it might have been last week, might have been the week before, I had my dehydrator going, so it's right here, and I've had it going again, because I've discovered that these crackers that I've talked about several times on the show are a huge hit with my daughter in many different ways, because she loves them. A, they're crunchy. B, they dissolve in her mouth. C, she has had, it keeps her regular. I'm having a trouble, you know, just being very careful about what I say about my daughter, because this stuff lives on forever on the internet, so I don't want to talk too much about that. But it's been really helpful for her, just keeping regular and things like that. So this is a seed, it's my chia flax seed crackers. What's in this is, typically my regular recipe is ground flax, whole flax, chia seeds, sunflower seeds, cumin, garlic. But what I did this time around, because I didn't have a ton of all of those ingredients, and sesame seeds normally, I substituted in some of the sunflower seeds and sesame seeds for extra chia and flax, whole flax seeds. And I used a bit of coconut flour as a binder to help, you know, just spread it out a bit, because I would only had enough recipe to make probably about 6 crackers. But now I have like 4 Tupperware containers, and it's a dehydrated cracker. That is really great. If your child can handle seeds, this recipe is amazing, and Kobe loves it. And I flavored this with a bit of garam masala, so I'm trying to get her used to more flavors and spices, and she loves them. So this has made me very happy. And they're raw, and they're super good source of good fats. So I've got a bunch of containers of those. All right, so let's get back to this recipe. So we're gonna start working on the sauce for the sheet pan recipe. So why do I like sheet pan recipes? Because it's usually one pan, right? It's just gonna be your baking sheet or sheet pan that you're gonna be dirtying up. But for this recipe in particular, we're gonna use 2. We're also gonna use this little pot. So I've got this little pot here, and I've already measured out a 1/4 cup of dark soy sauce. You could use tamari or, you know, gluten-free, whatever. But I'm just using regular little dark soy. So I've got a 1/4 cup measured there. I'm gonna put in a 1/4 cup of water. This was a little bit more. And then a 1/4 cup. 1/4 cup, or a bit less if you don't want it super sweet, of maple syrup. So this is some good Canadian maple syrup, and this is gonna also help just give a really nice syrupy texture to this. This is essentially a take on an Asian style teriyaki sauce. A little bit of seasoned rice vinegar. It's gonna be our acid, about 1.5 tablespoons. Recipe calls for a tablespoon, but I like to do things a little bit more. I go, what's the word? Modest with ingredients sometimes when it's these big bold flavors for my recipes for cookbooks, and then I go a little bit crazier with it when I'm doing it for my family. Lime, and this lime looks delicious, so I'm actually gonna take a bit. Mmm. Mmm. Into my compost bin. So good. I don't know if there's a better flavor than that. I mean, I love lime. I love, 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 love. And we got this really fresh bag of limes at the market, and it's been rocking our world. All right, so I'm gonna use just a half of this lime in the recipe. Recipe only calls for a tablespoon. So again, closer to a tablespoon and a half here that I've just put in there. I'm gonna toss that in my compost. What else? I've got my maple syrup. I'm gonna grate some garlic. So whole cloves of garlic. You can see the edamame starting to come up to a boil. I'm gonna turn it down and just let it simmer a little bit. Yeah. Perfect. Grate my garlic. Grate my garlic. So this is a really easy recipe, and you can swap out some of the ingredients. My recipe calls for 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, by the way, and I only have the one big one, so that's all I'm going to use today, and that's fine. As long as if you had dried garlic or garlic powder, you could add some, but I'm actually out of that. I've been using up a lot of the ingredients in my house. Ginger root, so we need some fresh grated ginger root. And that was my recipe call for. It calls for about an inch's worth grated, and you guys know I love my microplane, my rasp for this type of stuff. I don't ever chop garlic if I don't have to. I just use my rasp these days. It's just so much easier. Same with ginger. See, look at that. As I'm grating it, the skin is just coming off, and it's not actually grating into it. And if it did, it wouldn't be a big deal. This is organic ginger, but this is just such a great tool for doing garlic and ginger. Microplane, rasp. I bought this one in Canada probably 3 years ago, and it's stayed so good for so long. Okay, the next thing I want to add in is some sriracha or hot sauce of choice. Depends how hot you want it. I'm going to add in about a tablespoon. Delicious. And then I'm going to put this on the stove and just start letting it warm through and thicken up a little bit. So I'm going to put that on high to start. Now, how's my edamame doing? It's doing pretty good. I'm going to give it a little zhuzh. So you know that these are done when there's a few of them are starting to break open. They've kind of plumped up a little bit. I mean, it's pretty easy. You can't really undercook them. I mean, you can, but they're not going to be bad because they're all flash cooked anyways. All right, perfect. So now let's get some of the ingredients ready. I've got some. This was a half of a zucchini. We barbecued veggies the other night. This was the half that we didn't use, so I'm going to use this in my sheet pan meal today. The recipe, as you'll see, calls for broccoli, cashews, and yellow peppers, but we're going to sub that out today for a few other things because I don't have all of those things on hand. We used all the peppers the other night on the grill also, so I have the zucchini. I do, however, have broccoli. I'll get to that in a second. So what I've got over here is my broccoli and my cauliflower, and I've got them in a soak. So this is a soak that I like to use for my fruits and veggies, especially when they're organic, because you know that they are growing, in really fertile conditions. Quite often vegetables come home from the farmer's market dirty and full of bugs and stuff. So I use this soak, and that is just water, vinegar, salt, and then I use an essential oil combination. Sometimes I just use lemon, sometimes I use one of the another blend, and that is my veggie soak. So I let them soak. All of the good stuff, the not so good stuff, just kind of sinks to the bottom of the soak, all the dirt, everything. So then I just take these, dump the water out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give them a little bit of a dry. I've got a tea towel here. My mom is going crazy. Take my broccoli and cauliflower out. I want to give them a little bit of a dry. Could put them in my salad spinner. I often do that, but what I'm going to do is just do this with the clean. This was a clean tea towel, just to get rid of some of the excess moisture. Perfect. Perfect. So now I know this is clean and good, you know, bug-free. My broccoli and my cauliflower. Organic stuff is not the prettiest, but it's better for us. So when you can, grab it. Throw that on my sheet pan. Easy breezy. Now I can hear all of these stuff are coming alive. I'm gonna turn that way down to a simmer because it's already heated through. I got my edamame cooking like crazy over here, which is great. So far on my sheet pan, zucchini, broccoli, and cauliflower. So easy. And if I wasn't chatting this whole time, this would happen a whole lot quicker. So what I'm gonna do right now for my sauce that is coming to a nice boil here, I've just put it down to a simmer. I've got a tablespoon of water in a bowl. I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon of cornstarch. This is actually a yuca starch because I didn't have any cornstarch, but yuca is a root vegetable here in Costa Rica. It's gluten-free. You can use yuca flour. I use in a lot of my gluten-free baking. And it's gonna be what I'm gonna use to thicken this up here today. So I'm gonna just pour that in. Oops, I should have kept my whisk. And that's gonna be my thickening agent here. Might take a little bit longer. Oh, this dress is really bright. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so that's gonna sit here and thicken up a little bit. And in the meantime, I'm gonna take my edamames off, show you guys what's up. Can you see that, or is it just steaming up? So they've gotten really plumped and cooked through. I'm gonna strain off any extra water. We don't wanna water down the sauce flavor. So good. And so some of them will start to pop open, and that's exactly what we want. Now before I put them back on the heat, I'm gonna make sure I have all of my stuff together. This sauce is thickening up beautifully. So for the edamame, really, really easy. I'm gonna throw it back onto the heat. I'm gonna add the recipes, the amounts are in the cookbook, but I'm gonna add some dark soy sauce, regular soy sauce, gluten-free tamari, a little bit of sriracha, because I love the heat. Love bringing the heat. This is an important ingredient, sesame oil. You don't need a lot. Sesame oil flavor goes a long way. Today I'm gonna add in some Chinese 5-spice. Also, normally I like to throw in sesame seeds. I don't have any today. This Chinese 5-spice gives a nice extra bit of flavor. And then some pink Himalayan sea salt. You don't need a lot because the soy sauce obviously is gonna be quite salty. And then once you get the sauce in there, you just gotta get it all stirred up. And again, it'll burn if you're not careful. So keep moving them in the pan. And you just want that sauce to really cook down a little bit and coat all of the edamames. This looks really, really good. And this is gonna be I'm gonna reheat this for dinner tonight for us. Because it is only 20 after 2 here. Beautiful. Bada boom, bada bing. And then we grab a bowl. This is such a great sharing dish. So when you're having, you guys here, if you're having people over for dinner, this is a great dish to serve. It's a little appetizer. You just make sure you have a bowl nearby for the discarding of the shells. So obviously, listo. You don't eat the outside of the edamame. That's where the flavor is, but you just put them in your mouth and you pull the beans from the inside and eat those. And bringing with it into your flavor station all of these amazing Asian flavors. Now a sprinkle of white sesame seeds on top of that would be the perfect finishing touch. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm gonna show you guys, look at this. Oh, you can't see that. Grab a spoon, show you how much this is thickened up. See that? So it's and it's coating my spoon. So that's where you want to get it to be. And that yuca starch did a great job on that. So now we get the rest of our ingredients for our dish here, the sheet pan dish. I've got some tofu. This is a locally produced, non-GMO tofu, produced in Cartago, Costa Rica. So right here in our country, near the capital city. And so this is a nice firm tofu. I was super excited when this showed up at the grocery store. I'm not going to press it today in the essence of time. Actually, yes, I am. I'm going to just use this towel again real quick. But what you would want to do is wrap this in some fresh towel or paper towels in a strainer and let, you know, put a can of beans on top of it to just press out any of the excess moisture. In the essence of TV time, we're not gonna worry about that today. So then, I'm just gonna slice this into some rectangles. And then I'm gonna slice this into cubes. I'm just gonna stack, yeah, and the texture of this is super great. Kobe, since she started eating solid food, has loved tofu up until about the last month when she's decided she doesn't like the texture. C'est la vie. So then we got these 2 stacks of tofu. I'm gonna lie them down here. Everything just goes straight onto the sheet pan. You could oil the sheet pan also. What I've done is just put down a piece of parchment. Not gonna worry about anything sticking because I've got that laying down. There we go. Organized all my tofu and my veggies. And then we're just going to take our sauce. This is, I mean, it's so easy. And then this is a great meal. You just serve it with some rice. Take my sauce, and I'm just gonna pour my sauce over. I should have probably baked this a little bit first, the veggies, but I like my veggies al dente and a little bit crunchy, so I'm not gonna worry about it. There we go. And then, because the tofu's cooked, right? We don't need to worry about it getting to a certain doneness. We just want to have it absorb the flavors. You could also marinate the tofu in the sauce, let the sauce cool, and then put the tofu in the sauce in the refrigerator overnight, and then do this like the next night for dinner. And you're gonna have a lot more flavor. The sauce is really gonna permeate the tofu. So I'm just mixing this all up to make sure that every piece of veggie and every piece of tofu has a little bit of the sauce, and then layering it back out into a single layer here. We don't want anything piling on top of the other. So we want everything to cook evenly, or as evenly as possible. And then throw that in the oven. Boom. Dinner is done. You got your veggies, your green veggies, you got your proteins. You serve that with quinoa or rice or fresh pita or sweet potato fries even, and your edamame, and you've got an amazing, easy, plant-powered meal. I would serve, and this is what is gonna be dinner. We're gonna have the edamame, and we're gonna have that with some rice. Bada boom, bada bing. That is it. Look at all you guys. Where's everybody watching from? Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys about what you might like to see in the upcoming videos. I just wanted to do a couple recipes from this book. To just give you guys like the info, like, wow, I've got a new book. A lot of people didn't know I had done it. This is cookbook number 4, follow-up to Miracle Meals. No, follow-up to MAP Wellness Morsels, which was my raw vegan one I wrote in 2013. Then Miracle Meals, my first cookbook I wrote for Rythmia in 2017, and then I wrote Miracle Meals 2.0, Sauces and Sweet for Rythmia in 2019 when I was pregnant, and now we've got Food Fun with Meg. So buy them all. They're all available on Amazon if you like. That is it. Let me know what you guys would like to see. Hopefully in the coming weeks I'm going to be coming to you live from my mama's kitchen in Canada. Super excited about being able to get different ingredients there that I can't easily get down here, and to do some really fun experimenting in the kitchen, get Kobe exposed to some ingredients that she potentially maybe has not had yet because where we live. So I'm excited about that. Karen says she's watching from New Zealand. So cool. All right, my friends. Thank you for joining me in my crazy kitchen with my messy fridge. I just got the alphabet for Kobe. Did I have it for last week's video? I don't remember. And she's loving playing with the magnets. I find them inside the freezer though. Somehow she's getting the magnets between the fridge and the freezer door, and I find them inside the freezer on the bottom shelf. Interessante. Have yourselves a beautiful week. If you know of someone that might be inspired by these recipes. Oh, shoot. You know what I forgot? I meant to put these walnuts on the sheet pan. So I'm going to actually open up my oven. Normally I like to use cashews, but I didn't have cashews, and I'm trying to get more walnuts in my diet for their good fats. So I thought I would do that. So what I'm going to do, for today, is throw some of these walnuts in there. Get them in the sauce. Yeah. So good. Never need an excuse to eat more nuts. Beautiful. So that's going to be the finished product. Stay tuned to my Instagram for the final product plating. This is it. Peace out, you guys. Have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful rest of your Sunday. Follow me on Instagram, message me here on Facebook, through the Rythmia page or through mine, and let me know what you'd like to see in upcoming videos. By next week, my hair will be far less pink. It is fading by the day. Love to see you guys, as always. Ciao for now.